Hello and welcome to this unboxing of 28mm hard plastic French Napoleonic heavy cavalry. Time is about 1812 to 1815. It's made by Perry Miniatures. This is an outfit that is over in England. It is done by Alan and Michael Perry. These two guys, they are very well known in the sculpting miniatures hobby. They've done contract work for Games Workshop and Foundry, and they founded their own company, thus Perry Miniatures. So in this box here, you have 14 figures total on here. Now you have a choice as far as do you want them to be the cuirassiers or cuirassiers, depending how you pronounce it. And then there's also the carabiniers or carabiniers, sorry. So you have a choice as far as how many, but you do get 14 figures. That's rider with the horse. So you get 14 figures with rider and horse. If you look on the back of the box, it gives you a very simplified diagram as far as how do the figures go together. And again, you have a choice as to the positioning of the sword, if you want the sword standing upright or you want the sword in charge mode, if you will. And then they give you an actual size scale here. Now, for the contents of the box, you get 14 cavalry, you get 6 casualty figures, which is interesting. You also get 4 flags and a painting guide. Now, this is just giving you a little bit of an idea what the painting guide would look like, because in the Napoleonic era, you had your different units and they had their own colors, which would mark out that unit to be that particular unit. So let's unbox and let's see what we've got. Okay. So I'll just take it out piece by piece. Well, here you don't have to worry about making your own bases because these plastic bases, they will take care of that problem for you. They are scaled for those cavalry figures. Not a bad idea. Now let's look at the sprues. We've got 1, 2, 3 of these sprues. And if you take a close look here, you'll notice you have 2 horse halves. You have a rifle with a bayonet, a saber with a scabbard, a backpack. Okay, and then here you have 2 casualty figures on here. I don't know if you can see a little close-up of the casualty figures. And again, you want to be careful when you are separating the plastic from the sprues, as if you were working with plastic models before. You know, be careful how you clip them, okay, because you don't want to mess them up. These look very detailed in terms of the sculpting of the horses and whatnot. Now, I do have to point out that these particular models, they don't exist just in plastic. They originally existed in metal. It's only recently, not that long ago, that the Perrys came with this in plastic. And more recently, they have come out with 28mm scale American Civil War plastic cavalry, artillery, infantry for Confederate and Union armies. Now here we have 3 of these sprues. Now these sprues are specializing with the riders. So again, you have different swords. You have your basic torso here. You have your choice of swords. Now notice the choice of the heads here, because one represents the cuirassier and the other carabinier. And then of course you've got your little musket, which I would say is an option to attach it to the cavalry. Typically these guys were charging in, swords fully extended to the front to go directly into close combat. That was the style of the cavalry units fighting at that time. You also have a bugler on this side here. So you get one. Now here's another one. Again, you can't seem to get more than one bugler, which is kind of interesting. So perhaps if you wanted to break your unit up into 7 and 7 to make 2 separate units, then having 2 separate buglers, that's not a bad thing. But again, that's depending what you want. So you get 3 of these sprues, as you can see. Now, our last sprue that we have here, this would be our command sprue, where we got a couple of horses. And you have a standard. You've got a flag here, which is really cool. You got your little, the Gieden, I believe they call that. Again, it's optional if you want to put it in there, but hey, this is French heavy cavalry. Of course you want to put the standard in there. So you can take a look at the other side. Now, the last thing I'd go over would be the background guide. Now, for some of the kits, sometimes it's more than one, but more than one sheet. But in this case here, this is a sheet that is in color. It is double-sided. What's really nice that the Perrys do is that they do give you a little bit of a background as far as what the unit was like. And then they give you, on this side here, they give you the cuirassier regiments. And on the back, they give you the carabinier regiments as well. So they give you a little bit of a background, but they also give you the differences between the regiments themselves, the difference in the colors, whether it was on their pelisse or their trousers or whatever the difference may be, because that's how they made the distinction between the different regiments. Now, you need to understand that also the Perrys have included flags. I'll give you a closer look here for the flags. So what's the idea behind the flags? Well, we're assuming that if you're putting these together, you want it to represent one of those following units, and they do give you some choices there. Remember, this is a range between 1812 to 1815. So they give you some flags for the carabinier or the cuirassier, depending whether it's 1812, which would be about the time Napoleon attacked Russia, and that was a big mistake, as we all know in history. We also have the 1815, the time of the 100-day campaign, Napoleon's last gasp of desperation to keep what he had in Europe. Well, anyways, that's it for this unboxing. I am not disappointed with the Perry miniatures, and I hope that you benefited from this video. But again, I hope you enjoy it. Take care.